Hello guys, good morning everyone. Actually, sorry for the delay. I have been waiting for other guys to join, but nobody is joining. So let us start now. Today we are going to start Jenkins, which is a continuous integration server. Okay, we will see what it does. What is continuous integration first? So whenever we are building the code, and uh, you may get a requirement that continuously you have to build your code. Okay, forget about deploying. You have to build your code. So whatever changes made by developer, they will check out the code and you have to continuously um, build the code. That is a continuous integration. So what you do is you can schedule the building of this and script, I mean your Java code through AMP script, and you continuously save that final code at one place. Normally, if you have to do the same thing in AND, you have to manually run every time. Here in Jenkins, you can have schedulers and pre-commit, post-commit hooks, so that whenever someone checks in the code, commits the code, it will trigger a Jenkins build and immediately you will have a build file. Okay, so today what we are going to do is installation of Jenkins introduction and features, configuring Jenkins, how to configure Jenkins job, credentials, etc., and creating and organizing jobs, managing builds, managing plugins. Plugins are very important in Jenkins because in order to do any task, you need to have plugin. There are more than 500 plugins available for various applications, so that you can simply install the plugins and use the integrate the particular application. I'll explain you how it works, and user authentication and authorization, where you can create users and integrate your existing Active Directory or LDAP in with Jenkins, and monitoring external jobs. Okay, we will see that. See, this is a continuous integration. Continuous integration is a software development practice where members of the team integrate their work frequently. Usually, each person integrates at least daily, leading to multiple integrations per day. Each integration is verified by an automatic build, including tests to detect integration error as quickly as possible. Okay, let me explain this. So, continuous integration is software development practice where members of the team integrate their work frequently. That means uh, actually you have bi-weekly releases of your application. Okay, that means every 2 weeks you will have a release. Okay, build and release both are different. Building is just compiling your code and keeping ready for release. Release is what? Actually, the code binaries after building, you will get binaries. The binaries will be delivered to end user. That is release. For example, whenever you get software update, right? That is release. But building is whenever they create binaries, that is build. So it is not just that after building the binaries it will be released. Okay, they'll test it multiple times and fix all the bugs and build again and again, and you will get the final product. Okay, in such cases, what they will do is, normally if I am a developer, I'll develop my code and I'll build it. Okay, my code is built and keep it one place, and that will be deployed into my product development box, and I'll check the functionality. If something is not working, I'll create again and build it again. So continuously every day at the end of my day, I build my code and keep it ready. That is called continuous integration. Okay, and it comes with manual testing, error detection, everything. Once my final build is ready, then only I deliver my product. That is called release management. Okay, it improves code quality and reduces integration problems. So for example, um, whenever I build this, actually I can run test cases as well. So if some defect is found, I'll immediately fix the defect and build it again. Okay, it will be done in continuous process. If you have 1,000 users, 1,000 developers, and they are working on 1,000 different features, so building everything manually is not practically possible. That is why we use continuous integration tools. Okay, and it decreases the project release time and enables frequent releases. That means, I just said, it decreases project release time. That means if you have to build manually for all the time, and if you have multiple branches and tags, so after building everything, if you want to release it, it may take more time if you do it manually. So with Jenkins, it takes very less time, and after building immediately, you can release also. Okay. So if you have short release cycles, go for Jenkins. It is very useful. Okay, short release cycle means the software updates will be released very frequently. Okay, then it controls the number of defects. Okay, if you have any defects, it will immediately find. Okay, this is how it looks like. Okay, so if you see here, here is developer 1 and developer 2. Here is your source code repository. That means SVN or Git. Okay, developers, here you see here, developer checks in and commits the code frequently to source code repository. This is Jenkins part. It is not only Jenkins. It was This is the architecture for any continuous integration tool like Jenkins or Bamboo. Okay, so what it will do is this continuous integration tool will take the code from source repository, which is SVN or Jenkins, and it builds the system and creates artifacts. Artifacts are nothing but class files, jars, vars, etc. Okay, whatever binaries you have, those are artifacts, and it will archive into any artifact repository. If you are using any artifact repository like Apache Archiva or Nexus, so what they will do is, here is the thing, artifact repository is another repository where SVN stores the code, artifact repository stores the binaries. Okay, if you have different jars and vars, whenever you want to release, they'll directly take from the artifact repository and deploy the build. Okay, then after creating artifacts, you can do QA. There are different plugins available for testing. For example, Selenium. You can have Selenium plugin and you can integrate with Jenkins. Okay, and then you can get reports whether the build got failed or test got failed, anything. So all these things will be done in continuous integration tool itself. Okay, that is the advantage of it. Do you have any doubt in the from this diagram? If you have, please ask me. Okay, developers take the code and commits to source code repository, and this continuous integration tool will get code from the source code repository and it creates artifacts. If you have code artifact repository, you can archive those artifacts into that repository with versions, and it can do you can do quality analysis as well, and you will get reports. This is how a continuous integration system works. Okay, then see how to download and run Jenkins. Okay, there are different ways of running Jenkins. Okay. uh, First of all, this is the path where you can get Jenkins, or you can simply hit download Jenkins in Google and search for it. And Java-jar. If you want to run on command prompt, you can simply run jenkins.var. It is a web archive. Okay, web archives are the files which are the outputs of some builds. Okay, the write code. For example, if you think we have done in Android, if you think in Jenkins part, if you are developing Jenkins, you have some code in Java, and after using the AND script, you can create WAR files which can be run directly. Okay, so as it is a Java application, I can run with using Java commands, java-jar. Okay, Jenkins uses 8080 port by default, but if you want, you can change it with this argument. If you don't give this argument -HTTP port, it will directly take 8080. Okay, so or else if you don't want to use java-jar command, you can simply deploy it into web apps directory of your application server, for example Tomcat, and you can access simply with localhost IP and 8080. Okay, 127.0.0.1 is a localhost IP. You can say it loopback IP. It is common for all the machines. You cannot change that. Okay, before going further, let us install Jenkins. Um, Download Jenkins. On the home page itself, you can have it. See here. Oh, I think interface got changed a little bit. So actually, for Windows, it is giving installer, which is a .exe file. But if you are using Debian, it is giving deb file. Earlier, they used to give a var files, but now they are giving installers. See here, there is a var file, generic var file. So I have already downloaded one var file, so that I am not downloading it again. So I have my var file here. Okay, I'm going to command prompt and running. Let me maximize this. Okay, I'm running my command java.jar. This is just to run the vars. Running var is not installation. Remember that. It is not installation. As long as you are running the var, it will work. Otherwise, it doesn't. Okay. Jenkins.var. Guys, please ask me if you have any doubts. Okay. You are free to interrupt me at any point. See here, whenever you are running these kind of things, make a habit of reading this. Beginning extraction from var file. Var file is normally a zip of different files, jars, jar files, HTML files, etc. Okay, so if I browse my Jenkins with localhost 8080, localhost 8080. You can do anything. 172.0.0.1 colon 8080 and localhost both are same. Okay, there is no change. Both are same. You see this? So what it is saying? Unlock Jenkins. First of all, you have to unlock Jenkins. To ensure Jenkins is securely set up by administrator, a password has been written to the log and this file on the server. So this file is generated for one time. Okay, in this file you will have, let me see this, you will have the secret code. Okay, let us check whether it is there or not. It is in Jenkins secrets initial admin password. This is the password. Okay, you can get here, or for the first time you can get here also on the prompt. It is saying please use the following password to protect to the installation. Both are same. So now I have to give my administrator password and continue. So here you will get these options. Jenkins need few basic plugins in order to run for the first time also. Okay, there are two options: install suggested plugins and select plugins. Okay, you may not know what exactly you have to select, but install suggested plugin will install all the plugins that required. I hit them. These are the plugins. Okay, folder plugins which show you folder structure, timestamper which tells the time when it failed and all, pipelining. I'll explain you this in later sessions, and subversion plugin where it gives I mean subversion URLs, where you give it gives option to provide subversion URLs and tags, and this LDAP plugin. If you are using LDAP in your current organization, you can integrate all the user accounts with that LDAP plugin and few others. See Git plugin, mailers, SSH, etc. Okay, all plugins will be installed. Let us wait for 2 minutes and install it. Is it clear why we are using continuous integration tool, or do you have any doubts? Please ask me. So in the meantime, let us check out our code which we have written in last session, so that we can use the same code. So in trunk we have made some changes. So I think I have not added builder properties file yet to the code. So I want to add this and commit the code. Because I want to execute the same script through Jenkins. Okay, earlier we checked manual triggering of the builds. So we didn't create any tags. Now I'm going to create tag out of this. Okay, not from here, from here. So I'm giving the tag name app1.0. Tag is the final product. Okay, there will be no changes after creating tag. If there is any defect in the tag, you have to simply create a new tag with like version 1.1. Okay, so we have this. I'm creating the tag at version 3. Okay, I have this tag. Now let's go back to Jenkins. After installing the plugin, it will ask for admin password. The one which you have entered, I mean that key is for the first time. After that, you have to create admin password. Okay, is my admin. Okay, I'm saying start using Jenkins. So this is my Jenkins console. Before moving to that, let us check few things. Okay, Jenkins home directory. Okay, first of all, let us check what these options are. Jenkins home directory, I'll tell you. In this home directory, it will be created inside your user profile. Okay, I mean see users and username who is running this particular application. All the files will be installed inside that. Let me show you. Computers, users, my username is this, and inside .jenkins folder is created. This is Jenkins home. It creates everything. I don't have any jobs now, so jobs, logs, notes, plugins, secrets. See here, that file which I opened here is gone now. See, the file does not exist anymore. So it only appears for the first time. After executing the command and going to next step, it will be disappeared. Okay, and updates, user content, users, vars, plugins, and workspace folder will be created after creating and running any job. Okay, this is Jenkins home directory. Okay, and these are the features of the Jenkins: building testing projects continuously, fail fast. Fail fast is a better option in any industry. That means if you fail at the starting, you can produce a better output. Okay, so failing fast is knowing the defect very early so that you can fix it. And scheduling builds, you can schedule the build, if you have weekly builds on Friday, every Friday, right? You can simply schedule the build for every Friday evening, and the build will be triggered automatically. And viewing change sets, that means if you have any changes, anything, you can simply view on the web interface itself, viewing build logs from the browser itself. Actually, whenever we trigger and targets from the command prompt, we have to see there, but here you can see um, build logs on the screen itself on the console output, and notify the failures via emails and RSS feeds. And also you can do Jenkins test, Java unit tests using different plugins and reporting tools. Also you can use monitoring externally, okay, externally run jobs. And you can have many plugins, not just 300 plus. Now it is almost 500 plus plugins. So plugins are nothing but a small application which can be integrated with Jenkins, and you can interact with that particular application. For example, if there is ant plugin, without ant plugin you cannot run ant builds. Okay, and SVN plugin, if you don't have SVN plugin you cannot connect to your code repository to get the code. So that is the use of these plugins. You have to simply integrate it. Okay, and configuring Jenkins, system configuration. Okay, system configuration, how you want to configure your Jenkins system. Okay, I'll explain you in detail on the browser itself. And user authentication and authorization, managing plugins, nodes, preparing for shutdown. Okay, and these are the project types: freestyle project, Maven project, external jobs, and multi-configuration. We will have a detailed session tomorrow, okay, on these topics. First of all, let me explain you the interface of the Jenkins first. This is Jenkins interface. If you have any job created, it will show up here itself. Okay, now let me go back to manage Jenkins. Okay, this is the main administrative part. Okay, these are the options you have. System configuration. Okay, let me check one by one now. Let me explain. Right, you have your home directory here, Jenkins home. Okay, so you can modify few things here. How you want to check your clock here, hours, minutes, and seconds. How do you want to give the timestamp? A Jenkins URL which we are running now. Okay, if you want to have a public URL, you can give it, but normally people don't use any public URLs here. Okay, system admin email, not configured yet. If you want, you can give your system admin email and which port you want to run it, etc. If you are using GitHub, add GitHub server here. You can simply add GitHub. GitHub is an online repository where we are using locally. Okay, what we have seen in Git sessions, we are locally installing our Git. Okay, but in organizations, people use GitHub, which is an online thing managed by someone else. Okay, they commit the code to that Git repository and GitHub, and they'll get it from GitHub. And this is pipeline model definition for Docker and Git plugins. See here, shell executables, SMTP server details, which sends emails. You will configure everything here itself. If you have any plugins installed newly, you can simply configure that here on this page. Okay, configuration global security. Okay, here for each plugin you use, for example, um, any plugin that you use, right? You will configure the user credentials here, and there is one more place. Let me tell you, configure credentials. Okay, here also you can give excluded selections. Okay, and one more main thing is manage plugins, which is very important thing. So in available tab, you will have all the available plugins. Oh, why is it not working? Yeah, these are the available plugins. You have many plugins here. Okay, these are all plugins which you can integrate with your Jenkins. Okay, for example, if you see, and there are so many plugins. As per your requirement, you can simply install those plugins by just clicking, for example, an plugin if you want. See here at the bottom you have few options: install without restore, download, and install after restart. So whenever you install a plugin, you have to restart Jenkins in order to make that plugin usable. Okay, so these are the list of installed plugin which we installed during the startup. Okay, and plugin, um, email extension plugin, Git plugin, etc. Okay, in later classes we will also see how to install these plugins. Okay, and these are all okay, but see, manage users. You can add, you can create user accounts here and give the permission so that that user will able to log in. For example, user one, give any password, user one. Okay, here you can modify user profile. Okay, if you want any you want to change anything for this user, you can simply modify that user account. Okay, so these are the main things you have to remember. And one more thing is, yeah, let us try to create one job now. Here I'm creating job. Here you can click on new job, my first job. Here you have freestyle project. These are the project types. We will explain one by one here. Okay, and then hit OK. So here you see there are few options. One is general and source code management, build triggers, build environment, build and post build actions. Okay, we will check everything one by one. In general tab, you have these options like your project name, your project description. This is the test Java project. Okay, anything. You have to mention proper description so that people can understand what project this is about. Okay, and see here, these are the options you have. All these: discard old builds, git project, etc. That means whatever you are doing, right, it will clear the previous projects, I mean previous code, so that you can run a latest build, etc. So the best part is in Jenkins, if you don't know what this discard old builds is, you can simply click this and read whatever you have here. Okay, so after that, in general, this is the code management where you have code in Git repository or in Subversion. I have my code in Subversion. Okay, I want to trigger this tag, so I have to copy my URL and paste here. I'm using localhost here. This is my URL of my tag. Okay, so here you have to mention, you have to give Jenkins the SVN repository credentials, because Jenkins cannot directly connect to SVN repository unless you mention user details. Okay, so my user account is, let me check what user accounts I have given. Yeah, I'll give check. Okay. So I have this. I have selected this user. We can add multiple users for multiple targets, no problem. So here I'm not able to, I'm not giving any other changes, so I'm keeping it as default. Okay, here is a repository browser where you see repository browser in SVN, right? So like that you can also choose that. That is source control management part. Okay, then build triggers. See here, trigger build remotely, build after the projects are built, build periodically, and these are the stuff. If you want to build periodically, you can give your scheduler. See here, here it gives everything: minutes, hours, date of the month, day of the week. Okay, if you want, see, for example, at Friday, every week on Friday, you want to run the build at 7 p.m. Okay, 7 p.m. Then how you have to give is minutes is 0. Okay, and hours is, minutes is 0 and hours is 7. Date of the month is, oh sorry, 7. Date of the month is star. Star means it can be any day, all. Okay, date of the month is not required, any day. And month is all, every month. And day of the week is Sunday. See here, Sunday is 0 and 7. So if Sunday is 0, then my Friday would be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Friday would be 5. Okay, 5. So this is how I mentioned here. So this means the syntax I have given means on Friday every month, whatever be the date of the month, it triggers at 7 p.m. Oh, sorry, 7 p.m. is 19. Okay, so see here, would last have Friday 28th April, 7 p.m. 35 seconds IST. So it is given. So my next trigger would be in next Friday. Would, would last have run. Yeah, it is saying that it was run last Friday. Last Friday is 28th, and next Friday is May 5th. You got my point. So I can trigger that build. But now I don't want to do anything related to periodical thing. So I'm moving ahead to my environment, build environment. Delete workspace before starts. That means actually what workspace will do is workspace is a folder inside Jenkins home where my job would be created. Inside that job, this Jenkins job will check out entire code from the repository and keeps there. Unless I delete builds, previous builds, my previous changes may be there. For example, in build 1.0, I have 10 files, and build 2.0, I have 5 files. So whenever I check out the code, 5 files will be overwritten by the latest code, but other 5 files will be there itself in the workspace. So I don't want that. So what I'll do is I'll select this option, delete workspace before build starts. So it will delete entire workspace there, and it creates a new workspace again with the latest code. Okay, and my build part. Build part is how are you building the code, using which script. Here you have many things, Windows, Bash, Shell, and Gradle, etc. So my project is Ant project. So I am selecting Ant. So here what target I have to trigger. Let us check the code itself. So this is my code. My target is package. So package depends on other target, so it will run. I'll give my target name here. And here post build actions. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? So that means if you want any email notification, you can give it. Build other projects. For example, if you have two projects, after building this, you can continuously trigger another build. So I'm not doing any post build actions. You can try if you want. Okay. So now I'm saving my project. If you go back to Jenkins dashboard, you can see my project is here. So now I want to trigger the build. Okay, build. See, this is where it is showing up, the status of the build. You can also see the console output. Yeah, it is still running. Yeah, if you check the console output live, what it is doing, deleting project workspace. As this is the first time, there is no deletion because there is no workspace yet. Okay, and if you see, checking out the fresh workspace because there is no workspace at here. In Jenkins home directory, a workspace directory got created and my job got created. A folder has been created with my job name. Okay, inside that it is checking out from this tag, and checking out all the code. This is all are my files. Okay, And as we have done in previous session, we have triggered the same build. First it cleans the previous directories. As this is the first build, there was no previous directories, and it cleaned. I think in this job it will not there is no use for this clean, because every time Jenkins itself is deleting the workspace and the code. Okay, and it is creating the folder structure. Okay, and this is the compile task, and this is jar copy, and build got success. Okay, is that clear? Let me show you where it is showing up. Yeah, in Jenkins home directory, I have my workspace. If you have multiple jobs, it will create multiple folders here with each job name. Okay, inside that you have all the files, right? See, remember that in interview people will ask you like that, where do you save? Where does Jenkins check out the code? Okay, there is a workspace directory inside Jenkins. Inside workspace, you will have a directory with job name. It will simply checks the code out here and runs here itself. Okay, and one more thing is your console output will be um shown here. Let us make some changes to code itself, and in Jenkins workspace. I'm doing this to tell you what happens if it fails. Okay, so for example, for compile, I'll remove the name spelling. I change the name spelling of the name, and I'll trigger the build again. Okay, I'm going back and triggering the build again. Actually, it should fail. What? Oh, it should not fail. It will not fail. It will not fail because this entire stuff will be cleaned by. Oh, this time. Actually, it will be successful because I have made the local changes, but I selected my job such a way that it should delete everything and check out. So it checked out the code. My change will not be here. See here, name came again. So what I'll do is I'll remove the first. I'll edit that. Yeah, I'll edit the job. Let me show you. I'm going fast, I think. In order to edit, you have to hit on configure the job. Okay, let me go to configure, and let me remove this so that it will not delete entire files. So, but whenever you are doing, please make sure that you select that particular option. So now what I'll do is I'll edit the file and trigger the build again. Where it is? Yeah, yeah, build got failed. See, the color is changed. Red means it's something failed. Console output. Here it is saying unexpected attribute. So on console output you can notice that what error it happened and how to check. On line number 31, unexpected attribute name. Okay. So now what you have to do is see here. It failed at line number 32. Build.xml is already there. That is why Jenkins didn't check the code out again. because code is already there. It will check for update. Okay, there is no update in the version, that is why it is not checking out. Now I'll edit this. I'll keep the name correct, and now I'll trigger the build again. So okay, now I'll trigger the build again. You can build from here also. Build now. You can see here build stability. One out of the last three build fails. Only one build successful. Okay, so I'll go to here and check the console output. Yeah, this failed. The fourth one got succeed. Okay, build is successful. That is how you have to run a freestyle build. Okay, yesterday I forgot to send you the Java sample project. So today I am going to Java sample project with the hand script I have written. But please do practice with on your own. Try to write your hand script without checking my code, and try to build. Also install Jenkins and try the build at the same time. Instead of running manually, you can simply try with Jenkins. Okay, tomorrow we are going to get into more detailed part of Jenkins, and we will check few more options of Jenkins. Okay, if you have any doubts in today's session, please ask me, or we can end this session. Manin, Prakash, do you have any doubts up to here in Jenkins? Okay then. Thanks for your time. Bye. Meet you tomorrow.